We're not conscious. We are in family. Then I doing up belongs to the belief and peace Lord. Grenade. Says Engel. And my colors are work on the that's of the things of my pain. And even fat solitude to present him to the purchase. Right. Yeah, but I will never do the what is the other ones. The main part, I think that's all that. And good movie for cutting in at the business related stuff. Common man, there is office at the four living. He was it's all over. Uncle books, get down the hands and nail, but I hate that horse and round. You clear the table down its edges with the rock. So, but I did his own boss life. So, peaceful. Everything's rained on. Even with it, back to I ain't fun to do that shit. I'm back to the nation. Getting around the world. You have money. Stop that. Yeah, guys, cool. Yeah, you bring up stuff. It's like sure, so I can even get on that good through. Possible to me. Can I get what the plan? Yes, so I did it. So just did you were there. So just stuff at time there, and this was fun and different. You shot past quite a lot. You know, you doing some sense of it. Oh, that for my ear. I feel like trying to. Maybe let's just sound like just a bit moving on. There were trees, the land between the hands and looked at it, controlled all the buttons. Relax, relax, your toe. Didn't stand out in my head. The exciting out of an army of Tom of come. Looking after me. Okay. The feature now for Nolan cut looking forward. Was functional like for them. they can help to them that this is happens and all you can like of it all and they don't call it it's you know that I think but I had I don't it's not even already the start I'm between this not even no. Person and don't take any action that is imprinting but then testing is on breath and a lot of yeah. That should. Stories she says that someone not to look for having system should have face guys a bit touch just one thing. But I do pretty often I find people try to have much at all. But I'm never like to turn it. This little typed out it forward from the good for the audience. See to the sorry, little helicopter of the land of that. It's got to talk about so it's very careful. Took up in practice. Here and that's this day, so pretty out of consumption, deep therapy. I just thought I could always share a thing. I think now for you can most of it, pretty much I'm going to the chart, how to name. Yeah, that's at this stage. Was put on top and that's the only good to tell it is millions of the terminal. I don't know the data. It was a video thousand. It might be now for it's for most of them. I can't remember whether it was a little I'm talking about started with the about crossing from what do you think? That's not how I thought. So he's a file to himself, right?
Please be seated and welcome to our 36th commencement ceremony celebrating the class of 2025. We'd like to welcome all of our family and friends and those watching online. I'd like to also welcome our Board of Trustee members, especially our Chairman of the Board, Bob Brown, President and CEO of Integrated Systems. Also, our public officials that are here today with us too. We have our Mayor, Casey Hancock, if he would stand up. Thank you for your partnership. And thank you for making Hartsville a welcome home for all the Governor's School families. We also have Congressman Joe Wilson, if he would stand up. Thank you for being here. Joe is here as a grandfather Joe of Emily Wilson. So thank you very much for being here. We also have a number of alum. You'll hear from Neel here in a little bit. But all of our alumni stand up that are here. And we have a special tradition that if you are an alum and your child is graduating, you get to come up on the stage. So Mary Beth will be joining us for her son's diploma. Also, we have an amazing group of people that have supported you all along the way that you know and love and have helped you in multiple ways, and that's your faculty and staff. So would all of our faculty and staff please stand and be recognized? It's been a tough year for Governor's School as far as folks moving on. We've lost someone in our facilities department, Shannon, someone in our Public Safety Office, Jennifer, and we've lost two dear faculty members this year. We have two pictures with Dr. Bubina and Mr. Yaki over there in their remembrance, and they impacted so many of our current students, but so many of our alumni for the past couple decades. And so we sorely miss them and know that they're here with us in spirit. We also have with us the STEM Foundations class, which is a online program that we started coming out of COVID, and they represent the last of the STEM Foundation students, and they were pioneers in that effort to complete the Governor's School graduation requirements online. And so congratulations, and we're so proud of you to be here and to be part of the class of 2025. And at this point, I'd like to invite the GSSM Concert Choir to sing a song of farewell.
I'm actually got dial some building on different people. Well, I love you to the bottom and of the service. I then had to back that on the social and stuff, and that's all. I let it without you, Cheryl House, and worry. Think that it's all lost. The pinches and girls and looking crap. I was like a great with eyebrows and search so that we hang. Go man, to carry not that's a long way along. That you or your yours, with the way that she died. I know. Neel Sus for the memory that said. As a friend remembering, this no light I saw. The Midlands, Neel Sus, the Black Shomani.
Thank you very much. As you can see, we have so many talented students in so many different ways. And so class of 2025, congratulations. You made it here. We're so proud of you. The rest of this program is all about you and what you have done, and hopefully inspiring words that will take you into your next journey academically, but then more importantly, growth as a young woman and a young man. So we really can't thank you enough for what you have done the last 2 years. Thank your family and your friends for giving you to us for these past 2 years. And so at this point, I would like to introduce our Board of Trustee Chair, Mr. Bob Brown. As I mentioned before, he is the President of Integrated Systems. He's been involved with the school for almost 2 decades. And most importantly, and I think one of his favorite roles, is research mentor for a number of our students. So 3 of you sitting out there worked with Mr. Brown intimately over the last summer, and 3 rising seniors will do so again this summer. So, Mr. Brown.
Good morning, everybody. And congratulations to all of you and to all the parents who blessed us with their wonderful children for a couple of years. When President Dorsal took over here, he kind of started a new tradition of speakers. And since, I think, the first graduation, we've had an alum be our speaker, and I think I've had the honor of introducing each one of those, and I've also created a tradition of never using the bio that was sent to me, but rather the thing that I'm really enjoy is generally the night before we go out to dinner with the speaker and their significant others, and that happened again last night. And got to have dinner with Neel and his beautiful wife and one of their sons, mother-in-law, father, and lifelong friend Paul. And I think we kept up the tradition of being the noisiest table in the restaurant for a fifth straight year. And you don't get to be the speaker here at graduation without a very impressive bio. And I'm not going to step on toes of the speaker and try to mimic anything that he's going to say. But as we talked last night, we talked about how difficult it is to found something from nothing and have that be sustainable over time. And a lot of people see things like Neel coming here and being acknowledged for his accomplishments, but what a lot of times you don't see is the private struggle that makes all of that possible. So a lot of the hard times are shared privately, and a lot of the accolades are shared publicly, and so there's a big disparity there. And one of the things that I noticed when I started talking to him was that when you start looking at the list of accomplishments and the things that brought you to the governor's school seat today, there's a list of things that happened in your life and a bunch of dots that when you look back connect perfectly to put you in these seats today. And today will be another one of those dots. The dots that are harder to see are the ones that are in front of you. And we all have plans and dreams and all those things, and we think we know what the next dot is, and then something a lot of times will derail us in our lives, and the next dot becomes unclear or disappears. The dot you thought was there doesn't. I trace my dots back to a day of an airplane crash that put me here today. Neel traces his dots back to Hurricane Katrina, and if it wouldn't have been for that tragedy, he might not have started the company that he started and might not be the speaker today. So just remind you that even in tragedy, sometimes those are the dots that lead to really good things. So just because you can't see the dot, don't think it's not there. I'm going to turn it over now to a much better speaker than I'm sure, the CEO of a company that he started, Mr. Neel Sus.
All right, quite a bit shorter, so I need to adjust here. All right, so good morning, everyone. First of all, thank you, Bob. I enjoyed dining with you and Danny last night. Great food and even better conversation. To the class of 2025, congratulations. You've just graduated from one of the best high schools in America. This is a fact, not an opinion. The rigor, sacrifice, and community here, it's absolutely extraordinary. And to the parents, and I know this from personal experience, thank you. Thank you for giving up 2 years of weekends of seeing your kids every day, 2 years of baseball games, 2 years of all the things that you could have had from junior and senior year, and giving that sacrifice so that you could see your kids come here and discover more of who they are meant to become. That kind of love is extraordinary, and that sacrifice will not be forgotten. I haven't forgotten it from my parents' hair restoration, and these kids will not forget it. So hats off to you. Now, when I got the call asking me to give this speech, I was honored. But then I asked myself, why me? They said, well, you're a successful entrepreneur. You've had an interesting life. You've gone from, a bit of a biohacker from being not very healthy. You're an alum. But I was really suspicious. So I dug more. And I actually have an alternate theory. So I think the real reason is, and you guys may not know this, and some people may have, say, for example, Mr. Beast or as their speaker, or Ryan Holiday. You have the class of 1995 most annoying senior selected to be your speaker. So congratulations. So that's the superlative. So you can brag to your friends. And so there you go. So clearly, I left a lasting impression, being most annoying, class of 1995. But maybe that's the lesson, that life isn't about being perfect. It's about being willing to grow. Ultimately, your life is a narrative. It's something I've learned the hard way. Your life is not just a series of facts. It's a story. And you are both the author and the protagonist. In any moment, there are infinite facts about you. But the way you interpret those facts becomes your narrative. Some people get stuck in a version written by fear or pride or trauma. Others learn to reframe and rewrite. Inflection points, moments of disruption, triumph, or pain, help us find our themes. I want to walk you through a few of mine that you may find relevant. So I grew up in Anderson, South Carolina. Back then, it was much more rural than it is now. And yes, that twang did happen on accident. I was one of only 2 brown families in the state. I was smart but socially awkward. Didn't have a lot of friends. I got picked on quite a bit. I remember if Ricky Martin was on TV, I was Neel the Puerto Rican. If there was a terrorist attack, I was Neel the Arab. Very awkward time to be in Anderson. And I created a story for myself then that, you know what, people don't like me because they're racist and stupid. Nothing to do with my social skills, right? Then I came to GSSM, one of the most diverse, brilliant student bodies I'd ever encountered. And I still didn't have friends. So eventually, my roommate sat me down, Michael Thompson, wonderful guy, and I'm like, Michael, what's going on? He goes, Neel, I don't know what happened in Anderson, but the reason people don't like you now is you're a condescending jerk. And for the record, that is the PG version of what he told me. And that hurt. But it was the truth. And, and I guess if you're brave enough to look at the truth, it's the first line of a better chapter. And so, but the story continues. It gets even worse. So senior year, I'm far and away, at least in my mind, the best chess player here, right? And so I'm running for chess class president, and I figured I'm going to totally win this. And I'm running against a guy named Jimmy Hollifield. Jimmy Hollifield had a really good at chess, but man, he had this really easy nature about him. A little all right, kind of calms your nerves when you're around him. And he just annihilated me in the election. And I was like, oh my God, I'm twice as good as this guy. I'm like, I am just not likable at all. So, and then of course, the most annoying moniker came, and this was just a real head spin for me. It was a Hubbling trifecta, if you will. But it was also a gift because it forced me to look inward and evolve. And it was a very important evolution because I was faced with that. When I went to Tulane University, I made a monumental shift to change the way I treated people and to change how I viewed the way people treated me. And, because of that, I had a wonderful college experience. As a matter of fact, one of my lifelong friends, Paul Breslow, I met first week at Tulane University. Thank you for coming, Paul. But I learned to stop pushing people away. And that was the first time I learned I could actually rewrite my source code, like change my dynamics. I do have to give one other shout out. I don't know if Dr. Smith is here. Dr. Clyde Smith, Bueller. Oh, there he is. All right, so Dr. Smith, I want to thank you. In addition to being an amazing physics teacher and test coach, you were very comforting in those dark days. And actually, your lessons from Kashani helped me cope and have helped lead me to integrate concepts from that and other faiths into my personal philosophy, which is so far is working rather well. So thank you very much. So now I want to move on really to my next Nexus event, if you will. I want to fast forward to 2016. I'm 39 years old. I'm visiting my wife's parents in India, and I'm walking up the stairs at noon. I'm walking up the stairs at noon to have my 15th cigarette of the day. I stop. My knees start hurting, like painfully bad, and I just stop right there. And I had this vision of like my grandmother who was 80 and morbidly obese and couldn't walk, and I'm like, oh my God, like I'm a hot mess. I'm 120 pounds overweight. I'm smoking a pack and a half a day. I'm coping, with stress of work with food, and I'm working 70 hours a week and not getting the results I want. Susco had grown quite a bit. We'd broken the $1 million barrier, but we're not very profitable. And so I knew something had to change. Now, the good news is I'd been in somewhat of a similar situation before. Back when I started Susco in 2006, I had no background in business. I was an engineer who loved building things and making other people's lives easier. So I learned, be it from books, mentors, peer groups, and this is a gift I think I got from my parents and the governor's school. It's just the sensational desire to learn. So basically in 2016, during this crisis moment, I decided to apply the same learning engine to my personal life. I cut out my Netflix time from 8 hours a week to 1. I read a diverse set of books, everything from the 4 Agreements to Tools of Titans and dozens more. I got coaches, joined forums, and I did the work. Within 3 years, I was transformed. I was in great shape. Marriage was going great. We had doubled the company's revenue, best place to work, Inc. 5000, et cetera. And only took a couple years. But really, it gave me this model, which I'm going to talk through, about understanding needs, purpose, and beliefs. And so what I had realized in that moment is I had been filling my core needs in destructive ways. The stress of building a company, And raising young kids had me, as I mentioned, overeating, overdrinking, overmedicating, trying to create certainty where I had none, because the certainty is a need that we all have, right? So then I read this book, Tools of Titans, and I saw a pattern. High performers across disciplines all have these intentional habits: meditation, gratitude, exercise, and I made these habits mine. And the deeper shifts came when I realized that no one is a villain in their own story. And because everyone is really fundamentally just trying to meet their needs, right? So when you're in a conflict with your spouse or in a conflict with your coworker or a friend, ultimately no one is out to get you. They're just trying to meet their own needs. And I found that if you can, when you understand this is how people operate, whether, again, with your client, your wife, you can respond with understanding and not judgment. And this is how you create powerful relationships and powerful change. My wonderful wife, Ruchi, has always been amazing in meeting my needs, and she's actually the reason I've had the space over the years to keep uncovering who I'm supposed to be. So thank you, Ruchi. Clap, guys. Come on. Nothing? Nothing? Nothing for Ruchi? Man. Here you go. Sign? Jeez. All right. So now I want to talk about beliefs. So, needs drive behavior, but beliefs shape the code that runs it. I used to believe that if I didn't become a doctor, I'd never reach my full potential. This is a very common belief among Indian Americans who are second-generation immigrants. And because of that belief, it made me work harder and burn myself out and feel inadequate, even without succeeding. So one thing I learned is to replace this limiting belief with the empowering belief that I have no limits and that everything's an opportunity. And once I replaced that internal dialogue with that, essentially, I started to perceive the world that way. And any opportunity that came the way I took at Susco, I was able to grow it. Another belief is that, this is from childhood, is that, all white Southerners with accents are bigots. Again, this is from Anderson. I got over that by the grace of God. One of my best bosses was a guy named Nick. He sounded like Foghorn Leghorn. He was at the shipyard I worked at, and he changed my life forever. And the fact that he totally broke this stupid model I had down really taught me to believe I can learn from anyone, even if I disagree with them. One thing that I hope to impart is just the ability to find wisdom wherever it may lie. In 2012, Susco had one of our first crises. We had a massive growth spurt. We're first movers on mobile in the state of Louisiana, mobile development, that is. And we had a crisis. And so I was talking to a really good friend of mine, Aaron, and he's like, look, man, you got to read this book by Churchill. It really talks about crisis leadership and how you could just get through it. And I'm like, I can't read a book by Churchill, like during World War II. There's this Bengal famine where all these Indians died because of it. And he looked at me with this expression on his face, is like, are those people going to come back to life if you don't learn from his lesson to make your business and employees better? I'm like, no, I guess not. So that was kind of being open to where you get wisdom from. And so beliefs are just stories we tell ourselves. When they stop serving us, we can rewrite them. And lastly, I want to cover the concept of purpose. My journey to purpose wasn't linear. In high school, I wanted to be a cosmologist, and then I did a summer studying at Clemson through the governor's school, where the Hubble constant, where you're trying to decide, is the universe going to either collapse or just kind of grow like this or grow like this? And after a great summer there, I realized I had the aptitude to be a good professor, but never was going to be great, so that didn't work out. I eventually ended up being mechanical engineering pre-med and going to Tulane. Now, of course, I'm pre-med. I'm Indian American, so a good default choice there, So I did that, and I was mechanical because I was good at math. And so I ended up in college discovering that I really don't like memorizing. I don't know if any of you had organic chemistry yet, but if you don't like memorizing, yeah. So I discovered I wanted to become a doctor. So I ended up doing mechanical engineering, and one day I'm at Avondale Shipyards, and I'm what's called a test engineer. And when you're a test engineer, we were trying to calculate the flow rate of the sewage system on the ship. And after a couple of days of doing some math, I'm like, I don't really care about the flow rate of poop through pipes, so I had to change that career. And then next thing you know, I work in this other division. It's called project finance. So if you imagine when you're building a $6 billion ship, like a naval vessel, it takes 6,000 work orders, like go fit this here, go weld this here. Now, these are being written by hand by former welders and fitters, and the data was always wrong. And so my team was supposed to be doing analysis, but instead, all we were doing was cleaning up their data. So I taught myself programming so I could make what's called an electronic work order system so that they would get the information in right, and so my team's life would be easier. And of course, the VPs were super excited. It was really good for my career. And I remember when we were rolling it out, talking to the head of that team. His real name's Gene, but he went by Stump. I don't want to know why, but it is what it is. And he started tearing up. I'm like, well, why are you tearing up? He said, these guys, we get yelled at so much for doing this wrong. I'm so happy we're rolling the software out because now all my employees are going to enjoy their jobs more. And that's kind of where I had the aha moment that software wasn't just about efficiency. It was about the quality of life of the people using it. Because ultimately, for business software, they're using it 8 hours a day. So if their software is bad, like their work life is bad, and so there's a lot of upside there. So that's really how Susco was born, and that was really the first time I think I did something that was purpose-driven, that was bigger than me. And also, I hope this story is a reminder. It's okay to iterate to find out what you're meant to do. Again, it took me a while to land on software, but still. Even after finding a noble purpose for Susco, most of my goals were actually still driven by ego. For example, on the health front, in 2016, it hadn't been the first time I had evaluated better habits for health. In 1998, in 2003, and in 2011, I went from obese to fit. But each time, within a year of hitting that weight loss goal, I would gain the weight back. Now, why is that? Well, let's look at what my goals were at each of those times. In 1998, when I went to college, I wanted to lose weight to impress girls. In 2003, I was about to get married, and I wanted to look like the handsome groom. In 2011, I wanted to look the part of an award-winning entrepreneur. But each time, once I hit a short-term, ego-based goal, my internal incentive system turned off. My body was telling me that I didn't need to try as hard anymore. And so I knew this time had to be different, and it was. And so I discovered, for health, my purpose became to become a role model for what a fulfilled and success person looks like for my kids as they emulate what you do, not what you say. And by having this evergreen purpose, it's been something where, I've been fit for, I can't do the math now, but 7-8 years. Or as my wife likes to say, my bad habits are in remission. So there you go. And for Susco, we've applied the same logic. So for everything for Susco, we're building systems that unleash human potential. And really, for any effort I take, I ask myself, what is the bigger why beyond the resume checkbox, right? Like, why am I doing this? Like, why am I, whether it's charitable work or family work, why am I doing it? And who am I serving? So here you are, class of 2025, at your own inflection point. You learned so much, but the real journey is just beginning. You will change careers. You will hit walls. You will mess up. You will outgrow your old story again and again. And every time, you will have the opportunity, the privilege, to rewrite your own source code. You are not static. You are not stuck. You are not the version of yourself that you were yesterday. You're a living, breathing update. You are a version 1.0 heading towards greatness. And I, for one, can't wait to see what version 20.0 looks like. Congratulations and thank you.
Thank you, Neel. I love the evergreen idea and the figuring out what your belief system is, which drives so much of where your needs are coming from and where your purpose is leading it to. So thank you so much. Appreciate it. And thank you for bringing your family with you as well. And now we have the pleasure of our tradition of a senior address. And so for most high schools, most normal high schools, you have a valedictorian. I'm looking at over 100 valedictorians right here. And so we're not going to do 100 senior addresses. The tradition at the school is any senior can submit an address, and anonymously it is read and then voted on for that address. And so this year, Navneeth Nalahala is our senior address student. So Navneeth, come on up. Navneeth attended Nation Ford High School and will soon be attending Drexel University, where he will begin an 8-year accelerated Bachelor in Science and MD program.
On behalf of the class of 2025 in our school, Mr. Sus, this is for you. All right. Well, hello, everybody. All right. So, first of all, thank you so much for this opportunity to be able to be commencement speaker. It's a great, wonderful opportunity. Some of us will remember the tests, the projects, and the late nights. But some will also remember standing outside during a fire alarm, wearing pajamas and flip-flops, and questioning every decision that had brought us to that point. It turns out those ridiculous, unexpected moments were the ones that taught us the most. Patience humor, and how to survive when things didn't go exactly as planned. Worn out, wiser, and maybe a tad bit tired, we made it as a class of 2025. So today, whether you're sitting here feeling proud as a parent, relieved as a student, fulfilled as a teacher or mentor, or maybe all three, welcome. Welcome to this celebration of graduating as a Govey and of everything that it took to get to this point. From the very first day that we arrived here at GSSM, life started testing us. For some of us, the first challenge was just getting here, stepping away from the familiar, leaving home, and taking a leap into the unknown. Some of us were excited, some of us were nervous, and most of us were somewhere in between. And once we got here, the challenges kept coming. We had to learn how to thrive in classes that moved faster than we ever thought possible. We had to figure out how to find our people in a sea of new faces. We had to balance late-night study sessions with early morning 8 a.m. exams, sometimes running purely on caffeine, stubbornness, and hope. And of course, we had to navigate the roof construction noise, the crowded lobbies during Quest, and it was difficult to get a seat sometimes, and the ongoing battle for chocolate milk at our school. But GSSM, looking back, was more than just a school. It became our home. Living where you learn brings a whole new set of opportunities and its own challenges. It meant coordinating group projects in one of the lobbies or in the cafeteria. It meant quick conversations with friends over a breakfast of eggs and biscuits, if we somehow didn't manage to set off the fire alarm while making waffles. Or running to your class after you forgot your homework in your dorm. It meant sharing milestones, both big and small, from the stress of the first physics exam to the excitement of getting ready together for prom or the networking dinner. Even if none of us were quite sure which fork was for the salad and which one was for the dessert. We grew up here in the best and the hardest ways. And through it all, we had an incredible support system. Today, we owe a special thank you to the faculty and staff who went beyond just teaching us. They invested in us. To the teachers that stayed late to answer one more question. To the RLCs and RAs who noticed when we were having a rough day and found small ways to lift us up. To the dining hall staff who smiled even when the line for ice cream was almost the entire school. To the custodial and facilities teams who kept everything running while we raced in between classes. And of course, thank you to the ones that had been there since the very beginning, our families. To my parents, Renuka and Srinivasa, whom I affectionately call Mama and Nana, thank you for your unconditional love and encouragement every minute of the day. And to my brother, COVID, who I call Chinna, thank you for being my constant reminder of joy, curiosity, and home. And now, to the entire class of 2025, let's thank our parents, siblings, and guardians who were the quiet heroes behind our chaos. Even when they sometimes didn't understand our version of GSSM, they rooted for us anyway. Individually, we kept this place standing, and together, we helped make it feel like a second home. You showed us that education is more than just knowledge. It's about connection. Our road was difficult. Real life didn't pause just because we were memorizing polyatomic ions or deriving equations. We faced disappointment, and we did face doubt. We faced the kind of stress that only a midnight deadline and an empty coffee machine can bring. And through it all, we learned that perseverance isn't a one-time decision. It's something that you recommit to day after day, even when the decisions are hard. But somewhere in between the late-night study sessions and banging on the bathroom door, asking for your roommate to hurry up with their shower, something extraordinary happened. We survived GSSM, but moreover, we built it into something that belonged to all of us. We became resilient, and we became creative. We became the kind of people who, when are faced with a challenge, we don't back down. We rise up. And now, we face one final challenge, saying goodbye. We're not just parting with classmates. We're leaving behind lifelong friends. We're leaving the study lounges that felt like second homes and our favorite seats in Nabi and Slabi. And before we go, I want to honor 3 people who stood by us. Dr. Bhuvna, who pushed us to stay curious, not just in her classroom, but in our entire academic journey. Even when the lesson in her class was difficult, she took the time to help us understand what we were learning and to not be afraid to ask questions. And Officer Floyd, who reminded us daily that strength is rooted in kindness, and keeping us safe was one of the many ways she cared for us. Her iconic lip gloss will always be remembered. And Mr. Yaki, a teacher who not only served our GSSM community in his classes with passion, but also served our country. I know how much we enjoyed his vivid yet detailed descriptions of history. Their lessons and the lessons that we've learned from each other will stay with us long after today. Because the truth is, GSSM did more than just prepare us for college or our careers. He prepared us for the world out there. We faced all-nighters and the spam of all student emails up till now. We battled for prom dinner signups, cooked in the SAC kitchen with our friends, and enjoyed goofing off in downtown Hartsville. We made memories in the TV lounge, saw how clean or unclean the other side was during interviz, and somehow turned rock, paper, scissors into a campus-wide competition. We built robots, and we built friends that we are going to hold dear to our hearts for a very long time. Through slammed doors and opened ones, and through 2 a.m. breakdowns and 2 p.m. breakthroughs, we've laughed when we should have been sleeping, cried when we couldn't hold it in, and still we kept going. We made something out of nothing, again and again, not just growing up, but changing who we are at our core. And now, the world behind these walls is loud, fast, and changing. But here's the truth. It's not waiting for us to be ready. It's waiting for us to show up exactly as we are, resilient, resourceful, and rewired by everything that we've lived through. Because if we could do this, then what can't we do? So let the world keep changing, because we are not here to follow it. We are here to lead it. Thank you.
Thank you, Navneet. I've had the pleasure of meeting weekly with Navneet as our student council body president, so I will miss him in multiple ways. So he's been a great guiding star for me as this past year has progressed. So well done. At this point, I would now like to recognize Dr. Naval Erturg, our Vice President for Academics.
Will the candidates stand, please? President Dorsal, these candidates have completed the requirements for graduation from the South Carolina Governor's School for Science and Mathematics, and upon the recommendations of the faculty are presented to you.
By the power vested in me by the General Assembly of the State of South Carolina and the Board of Trustees of the Governor's School for Science and Mathematics, I declare that you are the graduating class of 2025 from the Governor's School, with all the rights, privileges, and responsibilities pertaining hereto.
Graduates, please be seated. Graduates of the South Carolina Governor's School for Science and Mathematics receive diplomas from the State Board of Education and from the Governor's School. The graduates have been presented with a medallion embossed with the crest of the Governor's School. Today, Chairman Brown will present the graduates with the State of South Carolina diploma, and President Dorsal will present them with the South Carolina Governor's School for Science and Mathematics diploma. I would like to ask Chairman Brown, President Dorsal, Dr. Martin, and Mr. Sus to come forward for the conferring of diplomas. They will be assisted by myself and Dr. Roberto Robles Valencia, the Chair of the Faculty Senate. Dr. Martin, the Dean of Curriculum and Instruction, will read the graduates' names.
Y'all ready? Let's go. Will the first row of graduates please come forward? Rayon Iden, Clemson University. Sebastian Oliver Jolly, the University of South Carolina. Mariana Isabella Lopez, Clemson University. Elena Jasmine Matthews, Clemson University. Kevin Joshua Michael Raj, the University of South Carolina. Dylan Glenn Morrison, Winthrop University. Daniel Purview, Southern Wesleyan University. Larry Giovanni Racy Rubalcado, Virginia Polytechnic Institute and State University. Margaret Joy Smith, Embry-Riddle Aeronautical University. Jenna Nicole Ackerman, Clemson University. Alexandra Hope Adams, Roanoke College. Parveen Khalid Adam, Case Western Reserve University. Nikki Rimini Agina, the College of Charleston. Ella Aubrey Alexander, Clemson University. Layla Morgan Anderson, Clemson University. Elizabeth Marie Aniello, Amherst College. Will the next row of graduates please come forward? Abigail Renee Bailey, Harvey Mudd College. Marco Gabriel Baldassare, Clemson University. Arpan Bonsal, Clemson University. John Michael Banzan, Rutgers University. Gabriel Alexander Barahona Smith, Citadel Military College of South Carolina. McKenna Marie Barker, the University of South Carolina. McKenna Catherine Baum, University of South Carolina. Samuel Jacob Bennett, Coastal Carolina University. Matthew Joseph Bertagna, Clemson University. Ashby Kerrigan Birmingham, undecided. Jordan McKaylen Boulay, Furman University. Tabitha Riley Bolin, North Carolina State University. Bennett Wilson Brockman, the University of South Carolina. Dao Chung Bui, the University of South Carolina. Wyatt Reed Burton, Winthrop University. Whit Joseph Bird, Clemson University. Madeline Lee Cato, Auburn University. Mary Grace Cato, Auburn University. Annie Chan, Washington University in St. Louis. Hugh Lam Chan, Indiana University. Will the next row of graduates please come forward? Joshua Chin, Clemson University. Raymond Chan, Carnegie Mellon University. Aiden Nicholas Chirico, Clemson University. Esther Juyeon Choi, the University of South Carolina. David Christian Coleman, the University of South Carolina. McKenna Patrice Cooper, the University of South Carolina. Preston Anderson Copeland, Virginia Polytechnic Institute and State University. Maxwell Romansong Corwin, the University of South Carolina. Dallas Emmanuel Crosby, Clemson University. Peter John Dastu, the University of California, Los Angeles. Catherine Ann Dawkins, Clemson University. Shatakshi Dixit, Clemson University. Raiden Allen Durant, Georgia Southern University. Atif Ajazi, New Jersey Institute of Technology. Chloe Brianna English, the University of South Carolina. Noel Israel English, North Carolina A&T State University. Zandrea Monet Farmer, Wake Forest University. Travis Ryan Flippin, University of South Carolina. David Lander Floyd Jr., the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill. Samantha Aaron Ford, the College of Charleston. Hutch Brockton Froza, Clemson University. Shirley Ann Gardner, the University of Kentucky. Brenda Nicole Garrett, Winthrop University. Will the next row of graduates please hurry up? Jacob Alexander Gettings, the College of Charleston. Alexis Gonzalez Banshee, University of South Carolina. Rachel Jane Graham, the College of Charleston. Manav Harikumar, the University of Alabama at Birmingham. Daniel Matthew Hartford, Lewis and Clark College. Sarah Catherine Henderson, the University of Alabama. Aiden James Honahan, Clemson University. Dorothy Ellen Hood, Wofford College. Audrey Mae Howard, the College of Charleston. Gabriel Stanton Howe, the University of South Carolina. Christopher John Ivy, Clemson University. Robert Chester Johnson, Clemson University. Bose Sullivan Kaikini, the University of South Carolina. Akil Kenthamini, the University of Pennsylvania. Elijah Andrew Douglas Castle, the University of South Carolina. Jared Bjorn Kerr, Truman State University. Yochi Lai, the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill. And after that cheer, will the next row of graduates please come forward? Sydney Elizabeth LaSala, University of South Carolina. Patrick Yi Xian Lee, the University of South Carolina. Regine Eugene Lim, Purdue University. Daniel Lin, University of South Carolina. Excelia Liu, Duke University. Yuri Xinyi Ma, University of South Carolina. Tegan Janine Mann, Boston University. Drea Mather, the University of South Carolina. Isabella Grace McDonald, the University of South Carolina. Eleanor Ida McLeod, the University of South Carolina. Mariana Peter McKeel, Rutgers University. Braden Scott Montroy, Worcester Polytechnic Institute. Shaicharan Nagala, the University of South Carolina. Navneeth Sai Nalajala, Drexel University. Akshara Nalareddy, Indiana University. Paulina Ivanova Nanova, Paulina, University of Pittsburgh. Alyssa Ray Norgard, the University of South Carolina. Madison Donna Oberg, Texas A&M University. Anna Orlova, Vanderbilt University. Alex Jen Pan, the University of Chicago. Will the next row of graduates please come forward? Brenda Darmesh Panchal. Landon Scott Park. Oh, I'm sorry. Brenda's going to Clemson. Landon Scott Park, the University of South Carolina. Rishi Kanalel Patel, Clemson University. Shivali Kaval Patel, Clemson University. Evan Alexander Phillips, the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill. Caitlin Rose Reeder, the University of South Carolina. Jason Daniel Ruggiero, Liberty University. Addison Marie Reginato, the University of Michigan. Roberto Alexander Konya Regoni, the University of South Carolina. Jacob Curtis Risk, Embry-Riddle Aeronautical University. Corey Vinay Rouse, the College of Charleston. Lenice Helen Sarah, University of Rochester. Truman George Seabank, the University of Minnesota. Ava Elizabeth Shockey, Clemson University. Amalik Sinha, Clemson University. Dalton James Smith, Clemson University. Hayden Simpson Snyder, University of South Carolina. Isaac Ethan Shrulovich, the University of New Hampshire. Brendan Tyler Stagner Mancini, the College of Charleston. Peter James Steinmetz, Columbia University. And will the final row of graduates please come forward? Sophia Elizabeth Stevenson, Clemson University. Bryson Matthew Still, Clemson University. Sanjeet Sunil, Clemson University. Jack Bennett Samansky, University of Colorado. Mason Elias Taylor, University of South Carolina. Chris Jr. Chapmu Youngay, the University of South Carolina. Daniel Brian Threat, University of South Carolina. Sage Elizabeth Touchberry, University of California, Los Angeles. Adam Mark Towner, Rice University. Kushi Kutarth Udani, the University of South Carolina. Gael Rodrigo Valverde Taipei, Princeton University. Brianna Rose Van Adder, Clemson University. Lena Aviana Vicari, the College of Charleston. Laurel Elizabeth Wallace. Lou is unable to be with us. She will be attending the United States Naval Academy. Ryan Elijah Watford, Baylor University. Peyton Jocelyn Widener, Clemson University. Samantha Priel William, University of South Carolina. Emily Ruth Wilson, University of South Carolina. Braylon Reginald Witcher, Wake Forest University. Chia Yanagi, University of South Carolina. Roland Jahal Yang, University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill. Xin Yue Yang, Oxford College at Emory University. Renan Zia Yilmaz, Winthrop University. Grace Hanjia Zhang, University of South Carolina. And finally, Phoenix Zhao, the University of Chicago. Please give our graduates a big hand.
All right, thank you. We'll have a chance to turn around and face your families. So our graduates are just so talented. They are so talented. So yesterday at practice, we worked on how do you get the diploma cover, shake a hand. What do you do with the diploma cover? Come over here, get a scroll, shake a hand. You got two things. You got one more hand to shake, and everybody did great. But our gubbies are overachievers. Many of them also had to juggle a duck. So I have a lot of ducks up here. If there's any little kids in the audience that would like some ducks to take home. My only disappointment is we're the Eagles, not the Ducks. But thank you very much, class of 2025. So at this point, we have one award to give at graduation. It's called the President's Cup. And tradition we started a number of years ago was inviting past President Cup winners to the stage. And so at this point, I'd like Carter Jantz and Naisha Shaw to come up to the stage. So the Governor's School of Science and Math is a school where 100% of our students are exceptionally able and outstanding in multiple ways. For this reason, we do not rank them. And we only present one award at graduation, which is the President's Cup. It is given to a graduating senior who best personifies the highest ideals and aspirations of students at GSSM. The President's Cup awardee includes a $1,000 check as well. So it is so hard, and obviously the final decision rests with me, but we get nominations from all over the place, and so it's just one of those tough ones. I'd love to give everybody one, and the same thing happened in 2020 and 2024. Great classes. Carter Jantz is from the class of 2020. He's from Greenville, attended Greenville Senior High Academy before coming here. He graduated from Clemson Honors College in 3 years in 2023 with summa cum laude, with a bachelor's degree in computer science. Immediately after that, he wanted to do something with English. And so he applied for the Fulbright Scholarship and went to Spain to teach English and do a little bit of programming in there as well. He's also fluent in Spanish. He's currently working at Kahua, which is a construction management company, as an app developer. Naisha Shaw was in the class of 2024, so just last year, so many of y'all recognize her, hopefully. She's from Florence, attended Wilson High School. She is now attending Rice University. She's heavily involved in children and women's healthcare initiatives. She recently returned from Guatemala, where she was bringing free healthcare to underserved communities through an organization called Volunteers Around the World. And she is also in her free time on a competitive dance team at Rice. So welcome back. Thank you for being here. This year's recipient is an example of the attributes considered for this honor. A faculty member writes about our recipient: "The only time I have ever been disappointed in them is when they decided not to take one of my other electives." A staff member calls the recipient an exceptionally talented young person who is always ready to participate and lead, perceptive, polite, sharp, and someone whom I can rely upon in any situation. They are committed and continuously demonstrate hard work. Their grades in such an academically rigorous environment demonstrate such. My experience with them has been nothing short of absolutely rewarding. A faculty member says their interest and fascination with their subject and other academic disciplines has increased since they came here. They enjoy the challenge of solving difficult problems and completed an independent study in an area often taken by math majors during their junior or senior year of college. Another teacher writes saying they are impressed with their mathematical talent and intuition. Their mathematical writing is very thorough, their thought processes are clear, and their arguments are well reasoned. Their wide-ranging interest in mathematics comes out in conversation, particularly one about some infighting in the mathematical community around the inter-universal Tesch-Muller theory, which I'm sure many of the dinner conversations at your own home circles around that as well. This faculty member concludes that they have been a pleasure to interact with both inside and outside of the classroom. I will add that in addition to these wonderful comments by faculty and staff, I have thoroughly enjoyed having this student on campus. Their smile and positive attitude are infectious. They're one of the kindest students that we've ever had. I rarely see this student without a group of other students around them. We will all miss this year's recipient who embodies the best of what it means to be a Gubby. Please help me congratulate this year's recipient of the GSSM President's Cup for 2025, Whit Bird. Congratulations, Whit. You have to come back next year, by the way. All right, I'd like to invite Bridget Chapman, class of 1994, to the podium to give the welcome to the GSSM Alumni Association.
Would all graduates of the class of 2025 please stand? You guys are incredible, and I'm so excited for you. Your class is special because you got to experience your very own reunion already, and I look forward to many more reunions with all of you in the future. You are joining today a proud legacy of GSSM alumni who are leading, innovating, and making a difference around the world. As graduates of this remarkable institution, you're uniquely equipped to lead with intelligence, compassion, and purpose. And our world needs that kind of leadership. While society often rewards self-promotion, competition, and performance, I challenge you to lead like a Gubby. That means holding yourself and others to high standards. It means choosing courage over comfort, lifting others up, and showing up with character and integrity, even when it's hard. It means leading not for applause, but for impact. And no matter where life takes you, never forget where you came from. Graduates, it's now my honor to lead you in your first official act as alumni of the South Carolina Governor School for Science and Mathematics. Please move your tassel from the right side of your cap to the left. With your passion and perseverance, there is nothing you cannot do, and you'll never do it alone, because starting today, your family just got a whole lot bigger. You're now part of a vibrant network of more than 2,900 Gubby alums across the globe. We're your alumni association, and we're here to cheer you on, lift you up, and walk beside you in the years to come. So however you choose to stay connected, whether through mentorship, advocacy, giving back, or just reaching out, know this, that your voice matters to us. Your presence matters, and you are always welcome here. Congratulations, class of 2025, and welcome to the GSSM Alumni Association.
So stay standing, turn around, face your family, your friends, family and friends. Show them your incredible applause for them. And if everyone would please stay standing, and our concert choir and orchestra would come up for our alma mater. So if everyone would please stand. The alma mater can be found on the back of your program. After our program concludes, we welcome everybody back for a celebration on campus. Again, thank you, family and friends, for blessing us with your student for the last 2 years. Class of 2025, I couldn't be prouder, and congratulations, and I look forward to what you accomplish in the near future.
I see it just
Ready?
Eliminate